Hello students, good morning. It's time for social class and I hope you all must have got your social textbooks now. Till now it was like you were not having your textbook and you were learning from what I was teaching. Now along with you even I got the textbook and the things which we have learnt earlier are the same but there have been certain changes in it. So now we will start the chapter as it is given in your textbook. Certain things are same which I will explain with a quick revision and the things which were not there I will explain in detail. So let's start the chapter. The first chapter in history was what, where, how and when. These were questions which meant what, where, how and when. What happened, when did it happen, where happened and how did it happen. These were the questions about history. And how can we answer that? With the help of certain things, scriptures. Let's study that. The name is changed but it means the same. Let's know the history. In your textbook, page number 1, the first paragraph is the introduction to this textbook. You can read that by yourself and the introduction to the chapter starts with the second paragraph. So let's start with that. You must be thinking, why should we study about human society of the past? History is not only related with matters of past but also acts as a oracle with current system. What were our ancestors? Where did they live? What did they eat? History gives us information about many such matters. It informs us about changes that have occurred in human life. Why should we study history? Because it relates to the current system. Through history, we can get to know about our ancestors, where did they live, what did they eat, and all the kinds of information. The chapter which I explained you, even that we studied what kind of information we can get from history. So let's do the quick revision as well. There we studied about a girl and here the question is about tools and resources to know history. Chintan read in a newspaper a 4,000 years old city has been discovered in Kutch of Gujarat. He was surprised. How can we know that this city is 4,000 years old? Who might have built it and how? What was the diet of the people there? What type of clothes they must have been wearing? How can we know all these things? Through certain tools and resources. Who can tell us about this history? We had also studied that the archaeologists study all these tools and the historians go through the scriptures and they help us to know the history. So let's see how can we know history. Here I have given you the map of India. In the map, find out river Narmada. You can see that. Thousands of years back, men lived on the banks of Narmada. Now what are the different tools to know history? Let's read them. First tool is manuscripts. In the manuscripts, we studied that manuscripts are scripts which are written manually, but we did not study on which things they were written. They are called Tadpatra and Bhojpatra. We studied that manuscripts were written on palm leaves and birch bark, but they are called Tadpatra. Manuscripts written on leaves of palm are called Tadpatra and manuscripts written on birch bark are called Bhojpatra. Let's read the paragraph given in the textbook. In the ancient time, man used palm leaves and birch bark for writing what we call manuscript today. Tadpatra means manuscripts written on leaves of palm leaves. Bhojpatra means manuscripts written on birch bark which is found in the Himalayas. With the help of manuscripts written on palm leaves and bark of birch, we get information about their language and lifestyle. Many such manuscripts have been found. Manuscripts written on palm leaves and bark of birch give us information about man of ancient India. Such manuscripts have been preserved in temples and monasteries. They have texts in Sanskrit, Prakrit and Tamil. Even poems, dramas, stories and epics were also written on Tadpatra and Bhojpatra. They have also been preserved in the form of books. They give us knowledge about customs and traditions, social beliefs, lifestyle of kings, science, education, medicines, animals, etc. We have already studied about the manuscripts, so I'm not explaining you more. If you have any doubt, you can revise the video which I gave earlier. But I still think that it's clear. Manuscripts, scripts written manually on leaves. If they are written on palm leaves, they are Tadpatra, and if they are written on the bark of birch tree, they are Bhojpatra. And what kind of information they give, even that is clear. Second tool is inscriptions, things that are inscribed. With the help of a tool, when things are written on hard surfaces, that is called inscription. I gave you the example of Ashok Shila Lake. When we go Bhavnath, we see that building, but in that building there is a huge rock on which this kind of script is there. This is the photo of Ashok Shila Lake. Let's read what it is written in textbook. Articles which are carved on the metals and stone are called stone inscriptions. We can know about history from stone inscriptions. Many times inscriptions were done on metal also. Kings used to converse with people by carving his orders and commands on these rocks. Many kings and queens have inscribed information about their kingdom, victories, religion and culture on these stones. Stone inscriptions of Ashok are very famous. Records and inscriptions written on these are long lasting. I already explained it to you. Still, if you want to know quickly that articles which are carved with the help of hammer or any such tools, when they are written on hard surfaces like metal or stone, they are called inscription. Third tool is copper plate. Copper, in Hindi we call it tamra, and in Gujarati tambu. So as per the Sanskrit word, it is called lamrapatra. This is new. Let's read what it is given in textbook. The text which is engraved on copper sheet is called lamrapatra. In your textbook it is written Tadpatra, but there is a correction. It is called lamrapatra. Many kings have engraved information about their administration and donations on lamrapatra. Such lamrapatras have been found in Gujarat in large number. They give us information about name, religion, administration and donation. Such lamrapatras have been preserved in Hemchandra Library in Patan, North Gujarat, LD Institute of Indology, Navrangpura, Ahmedabad, BJ Learning and Research Studies, Vidya Bhavan, Ahmedabad, Shri Mahavir Jain Aradhana Kendra, Koba, Gandhinagar. So, here I have given you a picture of lamrapatra. These kind of lamrapatras were used by kings to engrave information about their administration, how they run the organization or certain rules, and donations on a copper sheet. Nowadays also we may find lamrapatras for religious purposes, like certain mantras or Gayatri mantra or Vedic mantra or some divine shlokas or even footprints. They are engraved on copper plates or copper sheets and kept at religious place. So these are Tamrapatra, and such Tamrapatras are found in Gujarat in large number. And after that, there is a list of the places which have these Tamrapatras. Next important tool which helps us in knowing about history is the coins. Coins are also an important source to know about history. We get information about name of king, his religion, culture and time from these coins. Punch mark coins of 5th BC have been found in India, which is the oldest coin. Other than this, gold, silver and copper coins of Greek kings, Mauryan age, Gupta age have been found. They give us information about their social, religious, economic and political structure of that state. Here I've given you the pictures of the punch mark coins. Punch mark coins are created by pressing metal pieces in the mold. So there is a mold and which has that shape. So the metal pieces will be kept above it and they will be pressed. So due to that punching, these kind of marking will be there on the coins. So these are called punch mark coins that way. Punch mark coins of the 5th BC are the oldest, and these coins show who was the king during that era, his religion, culture and time. Nowadays also on each coin the time is, the year is specified. That tradition is from the olden days. That was the new thing about coins. I hope it is clear. Students, now I want you to read the passage on page number 3 with me. Students studying history, archaeologists, historians and travelers. We also studied that who all study history and how. How do we get to know about them? Let's read. History means information given by archaeologists about past of human society on the basis of research. They go to ancient places and dig out the houses, coins, bricks, stones, implements, sample of food, bones of men and animals, etc. and study them and make us aware about culture of man of that time. These things are studied by archaeologists and they gave us information about that. Man has been wandering from one place to another since ancient times. Many travelers have visited other countries to note life of people there. From the travel details of such travelers, we get information about the history and culture of a country. It includes travelers like Megasthenes, Pliny, Fahian and Yuan Sang. We studied about Fahian and Yuan Sang last year. So along with them, various other travelers also used to go to other countries and they tried to know what kind of life the people there lived, and they kept a diary and wrote about all these things. So these travelers also helped by getting the knowledge of different places. They gave us that information. The researches of archaeologists and historians give us glimpse of great civilization which flourished in the northwest region on the banks of river Indus. In India, many cities existed more than 4,500 years ago. In the same way, it can also be known that many cities developed on the banks of river Ganga and nearby area about 2,500 years ago. Here there is just a small glimpse, but I explained this to you in detail about the civilization near the river Indus and near river Ganga. Magad was the first and one of the oldest civilization during that time. All these tools give us information about customs, food, attire, attire means clothing, technology and culture of people of that time. By exploring many cities and villages, they have given us information regarding cotton, barley, wheat. Besides this, they have also given us information about animals of that time. Archaeologists are the scholars who study about past. They categorize the tools found, do researches, collect data from manuscripts, documents, archives, and then scribe them in a rigorous way. Archaeologists and historians bring past to life. I've already explained this to you, so there's no need to go deeper in this. Now, name of the land. This is also something that we already know. We know our country by two names, India and Bharat. The word India is derived from Indus, which is called Sindhu in Sanskrit. People of ancient Iran and Greece were familiar with the Indus River. They came into contact with this region 2600 years ago. The Iranians called the Indus River Hindos and the people of Greece called Indus. They knew the east bank of the river as India. We know about the name Bharat from Rig Veda. A group of people named Bharat came to settle in northwestern India. It is from their name that our country came to be known as Bharat. This group is also mentioned in the early work of Sanskrit, that is Rig Veda. Next and the last topic in this chapter is date line. Time is very important in history. Events can be written along with time and place. We can relate time with date, month and year, such as July 20, 2018, Friday. As per it, time is associated with birth of Jesus Christ. Birth of Jesus Christ, founder of Christianity, has been associated with date line. We call it Anno Domini, AD, which means years after birth of Jesus Christ. For example, 2000 AD means 2000 years after birth of Jesus Christ. Similarly, BC, before Christ, means years before birth of Jesus Christ. For example, 2000 BC means 2000 years before birth of Jesus Christ. So 0 is the year of birth of Jesus Christ, and CE, that is current era, or Anno Domini, that is years after birth of Jesus Christ, that is the current one. Right now, if it is 2020, it means 2020 AD, and before 0, it is not negative, time can never be in negative, but that is BCE, before current era or before common era, or BC, before Christ, that is before the birth of Christ. Birth of Jesus Christ, that is 0. AD is often written as CE or BCE. Why? Instead of AD, sometimes CE is written. Instead of Anno Domini, CE means common era, and instead of BC, BCE is written, which means before common era. These things I taught you last year as well. I hope it is clear. As Christianity is associated with most nations of the world, we use the same date line in India as in many nations. In many cases, the word BP is also used, which means before present. Okay, that's it with the first chapter. Many things I had taught you earlier, so we didn't have the need to get in deep. But still, if you have any doubt, let me know. In next class, we will start with the exercise of this chapter.